Hello friends, my name is Katie from Eternal Flame, and today I thought I'd share with you a quick plan with me in my Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker for Work for 2022. So if you're interested in seeing how after a year of working out of several Hobonichi planners, I've developed a style separately from my personal Hobonichi Weeks and my Hobonichi Weeks for Work, please stick around. Thanks everyone. Before we get right into it, as always, I just wanted to take one quick moment to thank you all so very much for taking the time to watch my video today. If you enjoyed this video, I would very much appreciate it if you let me know by giving the video a thumbs up and making sure you're subscribed. Alrighty, so I just wanted to talk through the differences between how I use my Hobonichi Weeks and my Hobonichi Weeks Mega in 2022 separately, Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker. So in the beginning of the year, I started with 4 Hobonichi planners and then dwindled it down to 3. I used my Hobonichi Cousin for like memory keeping and journaling. I use my Hobonichi Weeks as my main everyday carry that I can bring with me to drive productivity, keep track of any appointments that I have here on the left, and things like that. And then my Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker, I use this for work. I got the Mega because it was a little bit more simplistic. It offered more notes pages, which is exactly what I needed for like daily logging and notes. And so what I'm going to show you today is how I set up my weekly spreads as well as the daily notes using this Midori stamp that I just recently picked up as part of my latest Jet Pens haul. So because of the way I use these different planners, I like to basically use all of the stickers and take out all of my creativity on my Hobonichi Weeks and save it all for here and my Hobonichi Cousin. And when it comes to my planner for work, I try to scale it back significantly, and so I have a lot of my essential supplies lined up here on the side that will overlap with my last video about the essential supplies for this planner. However, it just takes away all of the fun and color, so there's no Zig Clean color dot markers here, which I could possibly use, but essentially at the end of the day, I'm still using the writing board, I'm still using my urban blotting paper and things like that. So I just want to show you how colorful these spreads are. I'm not going to show you I guess what I've already done in here for privacy reasons for my coworkers and the work that I do, but I will show you how I set it up. So if you just bear with me, I will take us straight to this upcoming week in November. I am so proud. I just realized the other day that I have been in all of my Hobonichi planners, well, I guess 3 of the 4 that I started with, for basically a year now. I think I've like kind of taken a step back from my Hobonichi Cousin because I've been traveling so much and it's quite hefty nowadays, but I am so proud that I've been able to stick to it. I think that's definitely one of the challenges of planning, is sticking to your planners. And then as a planner lover and addict, we tend to have more than one planner, so the struggles of sticking to it are multiplied by the number of planners that we accumulate for the year. So definitely achievement there. So I am just taking my Hobonichi writing boards and holding it down with these boneless clips that I picked up off Amazon actually for my wall grid purposes. So what I like to do is similar to, and this is going to change in 2023, so if you're interested, definitely make sure you're subscribed, because I actually ended up picking up a 2023 supplemental to pair with my Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker for work for 2023. So it's going to be different. What I was planning on doing is what I typically do here on the right is mimic my Outlook calendar, which has been so beneficial now that I have multiple Outlook calendars to integrate. I'm able to do that here while I try to do that virtually as well. Sometimes the lines get crossed a little bit, so having it analog, like old school written down, has definitely helped. So the first thing I like to do is just to look at my the outlook for the week, and typically I work Monday through Friday. Some days I actually work Monday through Thursday and work an extra hour each day because of my schedule for grad school. So what happened here is that Friday is actually Veterans Day, which we do luckily get off in my case. So I could do one of 2 things. I typically use my Raymay ruler to mark down only the days that I'm at work, but I think what I'm going to do is actually include the 11th here so that I know that it's a holiday. So it really just depends on how I'm feeling. And actually I'm missing a pen, so I can either deal without it. I'm gonna go grab it really quick. no matter how much you prepare, you can never be too prepared. I have my Unijet stream here, which is my go-to. So what I'm going to do is just come down here and go past Friday. I like to block off Saturday, Sunday, and actually use that for notes. I use my other Hobonichi weeks to just prop this up because we're not exactly in the center. So we're going to include Friday. Just line this up here, and I just want to bolden this line here to separate the top from the bottom because I'm going to use that as a separate section. And then I'm going to carry that line across to the other side. I'll try to keep this as simple as possible. I do this for efficiency reasons and also because it doesn't, like I said, I like to keep the creativity for this guy right here, my Hobonichi weeks. Okay. So to very quickly go through it, I like to go back and forth. This is part of the reason why I love having two Hobonichi writing boards nowadays. So what I'm going to do is take my 0.5 millimeter mechanical pencil and just very faintly extend these horizontal lines across the page. I apologize if my hair is getting in the camera. And I used to write in Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, but recently picked up this awesome stamp, Midori stamp. I think you can get it on Amazon. It really depends on availability, so if I could find the link to it, I will leave it in the description box for you. And I'll try to do that for most of these supplies, but like I said, it really does depend on availability. And so the right side is going to look like my Outlook calendar and have all of the meetings that I have to attend these days. And then the left side, I like to break into two separate columns. So I'm going to do that once again with my pencil. What I like to do is just align these dots here with the grid of my ringing ruler. So I'm going to do that. See if I can do. I apologize for any background noise. Of course, every time I go to film, it happens to be my lunch period or lunchtime, which is always when the neighbors are doing their lawns. Okay, so I separate into two separate columns similar to my personal weeks, and then I go ahead and use my basic stencil, which is actually stuck here, to draw in check boxes. I typically like to do that with my Unijet stream so I don't have to wait. What I'm going to do is skip the 11th if I can remember by the time I get there, so that I know. Sometimes there have been times, especially during this phase of working from home, that I'll wake up and start working on days that I'm not supposed to. So by skipping that day, when it comes to my daily task checklist, it's an extra reminder in the morning when I go to open up my planner, if I do accidentally do it on a day I'm not supposed to be working, to just kind of trigger and remind me that, like, hey, take a break. Not today. So that is the hope there. Right. So I try to line it up so that it's relatively straight. Might not be because I have a camera over my head. But also because this is specifically for work, efficiency is key. I want to keep it as simple as possible. Don't have to worry about anything there. So I will actually be on travel. And that's probably something I want to note here. And so what I'm going to do, I like to use my Tombow pens. I have several colors. I used to kind of try to keep it to N75, but then realized that by expanding my collection, it would help significantly when it comes to organizing. So I'm going to start, just kind of move back and forth. So this is a pretty new addition to the family. It's a Midori stamper, and I'm going to go across the top here and just stamp Monday through Friday. Or yeah, Monday through Friday. Let's do Friday. It's going to be interesting because I have to like figure out whereabouts it's going to hit and try to line it up in that way, which has not been easy, but worth it. Oops, and of course I did it upside down. I did this the previous week too. I would show you, but that is a-okay. I'm glad I caught this on camera. Make sure this is facing you and don't be like me. Let's see. So definitely a struggle there. No, I just committed to it. So yeah, it's definitely there's a learning curve a little bit, at least for me, when it comes to this stamp, but I think it's worth it. I think I'll get the hang of it, hopefully, eventually, in which case I think it will save some time. And then you'll see here too, I don't really have space to, on Wednesdays, to add the week, the date. So that's going to be an interesting challenge. And then lastly, there's just Friday. So it's just interesting. This is the first time using Friday. And just have to also make sure it doesn't smudge, which I don't do a great job. I'm checking and letting it dry. But essentially, it's just still a lot of fun to use. Great. So then I like to fill in with my Tombow Fudenosuke. I apologize for the mess. This is just part of the process. To write 7 through 11 here up top, I'm going to let it set a little bit, the ink. It's paintable, but it's not as quick drying as my Craftsmart ink, which is kind of interesting, but just putting that out there. And then I like to come down here and create a header and task list here. So I just go down, just use all 7 of these with my Uni Jetstream. Then I like to just draw a guideline here very quickly and label that as priorities. I could use it, could either do calligraphy or do block lettering. So I think use my soft tip pen here, Tombow soft tip, and kind of just have fun with it. I think it's easy to get distracted and get caught up in the details and things and not really enjoy the process. So I just try to have fun with it, especially in this planner where I typically don't share with you all anyway. But when I do share with you all, I do try to have fun as well. So let's see. I do have to let this set. I'll probably give it a moment to air out a little bit. And then I want to write in the section here too as well. And then actually before I get in writing these, I like to use my Pigma Micron in the 05 to kind of create that base for my schedule here that starts around, let's say, 8, and I skip every other line. 9, 5. So I take it all the way down to 5 o'clock, and then this way I have kind of enough space to include early morning meetings and later meetings as well. And just to give you a kind of idea of what I use this space, or how I like to use this space, I'm going to write in those numbers that I was talking about here. So I carry the numbers 7, 8, 9 all the way across wherever I can. And I'm trying to see where I'm going to be able to fit it in here. So this is 7. And hopefully I'll get better at stamping as time goes on. So I do have a standing meeting at everyday plan of the day meeting that I like to mark in. So I'll probably, excuse me, use this 01, and it's I think around 8:15. So I want to go in here, see if I can get it across. I am luckily off on the 11th, so I do not have to worry about. Let's see if I can. 8:15, and so that will mark that there. I don't typically do that. I typically use my Tombow pen to mark off the appointments that I have. So I'm taking a look at my schedule for next week, and I know I have one meeting on Wednesday. It's actually a really light week for me, surprisingly, so 10:30 to 11:30. Just to give you an example, at 10:30 to 11:30. And I used to only use this one marker, as I had mentioned earlier, until I realized that it's actually really hard to differentiate when I have lots of back-to-back meetings, when a meeting starts and finishes. So I started incorporating these other colors just in case, but my go-to is this N75. Okay, and so that's an example. I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna fill in what that meeting is. So we have that here, and then I just want to mark for this week, and I can use this area maybe for notes. So I'm going to mark that this is going to be a holiday. So I'm gonna go up here. Okay, so it's actually Veterans Day. The spacing's not great, but that's okay. I got the point across there. Sometimes I use some of my DIY stickers to mark it here, and or just some block lettering. But I think I'm just gonna leave it because this should really get the message across that I shouldn't be working that day. And then down here, I'm just gonna use this for notes this week. Notes. And there you have it. So some things I like to do is I'll create like little dots like I did here with these little dots here, to write in notes. I will use my UniJet stream now that this is dry to write in what that is. So that's going to be my staff meeting. And this just gives me a visual reminder in the beginning of my week. So when I start on Monday to prepare for this meeting, or when I start on Tuesday, Wednesday, of what is coming ahead, to just visually remind me that I have a standing 8:15 meeting every morning. And so what we're gonna do now, it's a pretty long video, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the notes section so you guys can get a pretty nice, decent idea of how I like to set that up. We're going to pretend that it's the following week. I'm going to use my urban blotting paper here just in case. And we're going to start a brand new section for notes back here. So we're just going to set her up and kind of run with it. It's super basic. What I've been liking to do, so I'm going to be starting on a Monday. So we're just going to pull up that Monday stamp. Tuesday, Monday, here she is. And we're just gonna go ahead and making sure we're facing the right way, because I was not, and mark Monday here. Perfect. And then I'm just going to use my combo pen as I had before to mark the date, which will be the 7th. What I used to do was just write the 7th, but now I realize I actually need the month too, so 11.7. And it's really just as simple as that. And then I'll go ahead on Monday morning and just create a dot like that for each of the separate tasks. Sometimes I have like a slew of meetings that I want to mark, so I'll write 10 a.m. staff meeting and then create different symbols using my fountain pen, probably to like a little caret here below, and just follow these vertical lines, these little grid boxes. So I'll go like this and just have notes there. I'll do a dash, and I kind of have like a running system of how I like to approach it, but it really is as simple as that. And I just wanted to share with you all a pretty relaxed plan with me today in my Hobonichi weeks for work. So hopefully you enjoyed this and it was beneficial. Thank you so much for taking the time, and until next time, bye everyone.